All right, welcome in everybody to Locker Room Sports Talk. Glad y'all could come by and hang out with me for just a little while. Live here for show number 257. We're glad that it'd make me a small part of your day. We try to be on here about an hour. We're going to talk about some high school football from around here in the wonderful state of Alabama. And there's definitely a few things that happened in college football this weekend. Also, we'll have our Big Diamond Player of the Week. So let's just jump right in and get started. Welcome in everybody here and hit the old peanut gallery. Let y'all come by and hang out. Hit the comment section. You got questions, whatever you got. We'll talk about some football here. We'll do college here. You spend about 30 or 40 minutes here with high school and then about the same with the college stuff. We'll try to do an hour and a half usually. So just jump in there and where you can and hang on. I guess right off the first here, we'll go through the scores as they roll across the bottom of your screen. Cherokee County takes care of Alexandria 35-7, and they tie up their third consecutive 4A region championship. Again, big region champs again. So congratulations to Cherokee County Warriors on that, tying that up, linking that up again. Game-wise, I think most people, computer too, kind of had it picked that way. As far as yards and stuff, they throw the ball around a good bit. Our last week's Big Diamond Player of the Week, Adam, he threw for a little over 200 yards on, I think he was like 4 for 7. And Tay had rushed for 75 and had a touchdown. Tristan rushed for about 60 or so, had a touchdown. And Keyshawn also rushed. He had like 40 or 50 and also had a touchdown. Mosley, Ben, had one of his nights. Ben does that, man. He's Ben Frampton Sr. out there. Mosley's the younger of the Ben connections out there, the Ben and Ben show out there at Cherokee County. So congratulations to them. And, we kind of figured that would kind of be the part of it. Frampton had over 100 yards receiving. Look, man, Cherokee County plays a heck of a defensive game. All coaches involved do a good job. Like Coach Henderson, Coach Chandler heading that up, and Coach Turner heading that up on the back side of that, and coaching the corners and holding them guys responsible, holding them accountable. You guys do a good job out there, and we're excited to see where the playoffs kind of go. And I've got a little bit of an inkling of an idea, so don't run home and tell Mom that, Mom, Big Matt said we're going to play so-and-so, so it's just kind of a good guess. What's up, Brandon? Thank you for coming by, bro. So I kind of got a little bit of an idea. Next game there on the list, talking about, look at this scores roll at the bottom of your screen there. Spring Garden 61, Eider 6. Look, man, it is what it is, and Coach does a good job at Eider. Starkey talks about him highly. Good guy, motivates kids, but you just go through those periods, man. At small schools like that, you just go through times where you just don't have a lot of guys, and you just do the best you can what you got. And God bless them for playing football, man, because I think football is important. I think football is very important for young men and their growth and becoming young men. It teaches them that, win or lose, win or loss, you still have to get up and keep fighting and prepare for the week. And, as their season, come to end there at Eider, hey, man, just hang in there and keep fighting. And bless the coach and the community up there, and Taylor Dalton, number one fan of the show. He's always on here liking all our stuff. Find his podcast, Bum Pickens. It's on Spotify and Applecast and all those places. It's kind of funny. Taylor's a good guy. Really smart. He knows all kind of stuff about stats and stuff from all around, especially for his Eider Hornets up there. So congrats to Spring Garden, of course, for the win and finishing off there. And they'll be, let's see here. I don't know if they even got another game. Yeah, they'll be getting ready for playoffs and hosting some teams. So next there on the list, the Fighting Naps over at Gilsville. And we have pulled for them all year long. We've been rooting for them and wishing them the best every way. And we don't pick games. We just don't. I don't like picking games with the kids. That's just me. Other people can if you want to. That's your thing. You have your own show. You can do what you want to. But if I was a picking guy, I just kind of had a good. I just felt like Gilsville had a shot at this, and I know the computers didn't. They had Raglan picked by a touchdown or so. I guess that's fair by looking at record. But I felt like with their week of preparation, Gilsville's got some good upcoming boys coming through, and they got some great little group of seniors over there now. So, darn, man, I was getting scores, and we're pulling for them, man. I mean, this is my county. I love my county. My mom taught school over at Gilsville, man, you just thought I thought, man, they're gonna win this game, and just kind of got away from them there late in the game. Wound up being 27-20. So congrats on to Gilsville for finishing off their road wins up there, because they'll be at Woodville this week, and then they're off that last week and going into the off season. What up, Hot Wheels? So congrats to Raglan on getting the win there, but darn, man, we was pulling for the Trojans. Beatty wound up with 152. Centel, man, he got close to 100 yards right there, about 90. Almond had 15 tackles, 285 total yards for the day for them. And going back to Spring Garden here, I didn't see that it was mixed in on the line. I didn't see it roped off. Spring Garden against Ider there. Lucas McGatha. Let's talk about Lucas. Just, being around some and get to go there a little bit during the summer, see the guys work out. He really gets after it, works hard, and coaches are excited about him. Right here tells you some of your younger guys get to play here in some of these games, and that's what coaches do, and using some of these games for an opportunity for the younger guys to play. 123 rushing. Connor, had 100. Barber had 61 passing. So that excites me. That means that they got guys coming, and you always want to work your young guys into lineup and let them get some play time. So that's exciting for Lucas over there. He works hard, and I see. We see you, Lucas. We see you working hard, bro, and good things to come over there for him over there. So we went through Spring Garden, and Gales won a darn nail biter. Man, they almost had them. I just think they've had a good year. I know the loss record looks bad, but it is what it is. And Nap he's not going to be the guy to cry over spilt milk. He just so they played the guys, played Raglan good, just didn't finish out. Now for our game of the week, brought to you by Cherokee Eye Clinic. Thank you, JR and April McKenzie, for always being a sponsor with us. We very much do appreciate it. Get a hold of them over here on Facebook. You can find them over there and see it, their new apparel and their great office workers up there. CherokeeEyeClinic.net, or you can call at 927-4030. Local business around here, JR and April McKenzie, for all your eyewear needs. Get a hold of them for all that, and sponsoring this game of the week. We do appreciate them for doing that. Man, what a game. Whew. The longtime rival Sandrock travels over to Cedar Bluff to Eddie Bruce Field on a brightly lit moonlight night and a just back and forth contest. 34-33 all-time rival record, leading the way. Cedar Bluff leading by the one game. Playoff contentions are on the line. rival numbers. Sandrock getting back in there and tie this darn thing up. It didn't disappoint. I mean, you can see the score there, 28-26. And it's just all night. I mean, it was just back and forth, just all night. It's just back and forth. Excited for both teams, to come out there. And I don't think anybody that I know of got badly hurt. That I know of. They had some shoulder stingers and that type of stuff, and we want all the guys to get well and get back. But I'll say first, at the end of the game, for the guys to come down and circle up there together, we get to play in the game, and we kind of forget what we're doing. And it's a passionate game. It's a tough, manly game. It's war. You're going there and you're fighting and you're hitting each other and trying to destroy each other. But for them to come together at the end and, just take a good game. And you know what? We'll see you over at Sandrock next year. And for the seniors, and Cedar Bluff had 11 seniors on that team. Some of them have played a lot of football. But first off, it speaks testaments for Coach Crane. Getting the guys, a little group there, excited to come out and play football for him. Some kids that hadn't played football. So good for him for help, continue to build the program there. Got young coaches there, and they're going to figure it out. They'll be okay. You just keep going to work. And shout out to Sandrock for always being welcoming to me, Coach Heath, and Coach Bates. And look, man, you got Nate Meekins over there coaching now. Sandrock's going to be fine. Fans don't get too distraught about it. I got to see some of the senior guys and hug some of them from Sandrock over there, and I let them know, hey, you played a good game. I've enjoyed covering you playing football, and I'll probably see them probably this week or next. So, come over there and check them out. So I want to say that up front first. But, man, wow, what a night it was. It just kind of goes back and forth most of the night, and penalties, it wasn't crazy penalties. I actually threw the ball around some, and Teague, they threw it around some, but mostly they're going to try to run the ball with Jenkins and Robinson for Sandrock over there, and Jenkins scores for Cedar Bluff. That's kind of the trend most of the night. And it kind of felt like it nearly felt like, man, this is how Tennessee and Alabama game is going to be tomorrow. They're just going to run it a little bit here and there, and both of them's going to try to hit big plays, and whoever makes the most big plays or makes a big catch down the sideline, that's probably who's going to win the game. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's just exciting to see the guys make big plays. If you want to watch the highlight video, you can go over to our YouTube channel and watch it. And it's about, 5 minutes or so, 6 minutes, just some clips through the first part of the game. Try to give some attention to the kids. They work hard, and always like to shine a little light on them. Man, what a good atmosphere. Place was full. Concession stand food's cooking, the popcorn's going, and it was a good football game. You never knew who was going to win at points in the game. You just felt like, well, Cedar Bluff went ahead and they keep the ball for a little while, and then Sandrock get it back. And Coach Heath puts together some great plays. Told him at the end of the game, those middle screens, man, they're good, timely plays. You know what I'm saying? The times that he called those, they worked. And Cedar Bluff to dial up try to hit the ball up the sideline up there to Caleb and them. So, Day Johnson, Michael's boy, tears up for I think it was after halftime. He comes up the middle with a big run. Nearly runs it all the way in, about a 50-yard dash on that play. And Jenkins had 130 on the night for Cedar Bluff, had over 400 yards of total offense. Jenkins said that he had 130. Stallings comes in and goes for over 100 passing and throwing, passing and rushing. How about that? And our little Ashley over there, Ace's little brother, and I know he don't want to be known as Ace's little brother because he's Alex Ashley. He's a dog. Love him and the family. Those for over 100 passing. Robinson knocking on the door close to 100. And Gatlin, man, he's the guy you want to get him the ball when you're in situations. And he goes for over 50 rushing. Sandrock had over 250 yards of offense. I think just a little bit of difference was Tennessee, Alabama, man. I know I made that comparison. It's just who hit those bigger plays down the field. They both made their shots. It's like skeet shooting is what it felt like. and sometimes they hit the target and sometimes didn't. And the ones that hit the target, that's just who won the game. It was a good game. And again, there was some flags. Nothing bad. I mean, the game didn't go on real long. Sometimes I hate, man, you get a game with a lot of flags. And there for a little while, man, they were flagging a lot of different stuff. Just some of the simultaneous stuff. And most of it was deserved, offside stuff, kids fidgeting and stuff like that, being nervous and whatever. But overall, wrap it up there. Great game of the week to kind of end out the regular season sort of. I think we'll probably have one more. I need to leave that right here and quit just going through the paper every time I need it. Yeah, we'll probably have one more game of the week, and we'll have another Big Diamond Player of the Week. So that's kind of that. All our area scores and stuff. So good week of high school football. For the most part, darn, Moist Girls will just, darn it, man, if they'd have got the win there. So this part of the show here will be brought to you by Mobley Concrete Constructions. Jerry Mobley and family out there, good folks. Free estimates, need concrete work. Call Jerry, 903-343-8581. Good folks out there. Any kind of whatever you need, I mean, small stuff, big stuff, just call him. I mean, it ain't going to hurt to give him a call, and he'll call you back or leave a message, and he'll get back with you and find out what you need and just come out and have a free estimate, And this is our favorite part of the show. Everybody loves this, and we try to give a little attention to some of our great young men here in the county during the football season. So for the week, look, coming in off injury, hadn't played in weeks. Quarterback goes out. I don't even know. Was it after halftime? May have been, or right before. So he has to come in and fill in and just be quarterback again. Like I said, rushed for 100, went for over 100 yards. So it's got to be. It's Hunter Stallings. Congratulations, Hunter. Big Diamond Player of the Week. We appreciate you for playing a heck of a game of the night, man. Just come in and took it upon himself to say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go out here and just win this game. I'm going to throw it down here and let my players make plays. I'm going to trust my line to make the blocks, and I'm going to run the ball where I need to run it. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And that's what Hunter did. And knowing Hunter the way that I do, I've known him since forever, his brother and everybody. And what a great way to, kind of finish off there for senior night, those kind of things going on for him and all his buddies. And he just said, you know what? Not tonight, guys. We're going to go out here and finish this, and we're going to keep this rivalry alive. We want to keep it on the side of the Tigers, and that's what Hunter said, and that's what he did. So hats off to Hunter for I'm sharing it on the pages while you see me picking up my phone here. So congrats to Hunter for being Big Diamond Player of the Week. And Hunter, I will have your shirt out there to you one day this week. Good job. And great win for the team. and to go on and now get ready for the playoffs. Let's talk about that a minute. Let's see where some of the pitchers might be, and this is just a good guess. Okay, it's not a for sure thing at all. I wrote it on here somewhere. Let's see. There's some scores from around the area. Maybe playoffs. Okay. Valley Head may be looking like we'll start just with some 1A stuff. This just guesses. Okay, we don't know. There's still some game. Valley Head still got to play Appalachian this week. We'll break that down here in just a minute. Valley Head at Wadley. That could be a matchup there. And it kind of looks like it appears right now from over there and then up as far as the other region. Donahoe would be the 4 over there. So they will go to Spring Garden. That'd be a matchup for I'm talking our local guys here for that 1A. And Cedar Bluff would more than likely have to travel to a Tuscaloosa Academy because how that region matches up over there for the 2A Region 7 and matches to Region 8. And again, these are just guesses. And here's another one that I wrote down for just for 2A. Red Bay, wrote them down. We locked up and played with them a couple of years ago when Marcus was playing. We had to go over there. Good gracious, what a drive it is over there. Man, it's like I could throw the football to the Mississippi line. I mean, it's close. They'll have to travel over to Coosa Christian. God, that's a drive, man. Whew, that is a darn drive. Now, 3A stuff. Collinsville up here, Coach Willingham, Coach Hams. They do a good job there. Looks like they might have traveled to Piedmont. I think that'd be I'm curious about the history of that game. Anybody know the history of the Collinsville and game? Yeah, I'm curious about that. I meant to look it up earlier. I looked when I did some of these last night, so I'm very curious about that. Yeah, you're right, Mark. Yeah, congrats again to Hunter Stallion, their Player of the Week. So Collinsville at Piedmont, maybe it's kind of what we're looking at right now. Westbrook Christian, the Fighting Smiths. It looks like Coach Smith and Coach Benefield will tie up again. This time, Coach Smith not being at Piedmont, but being at Westbrook. How about that? Ain't that weird? Goes up there again. He was at Piedmont, went up there. Rain game. I was there, soaking, wet. Man, I stood on the sideline with Dominic Thomas and watched Piedmont game over there at Thanksgiving week. Good gosh, man. What a game. Whew. That's a possibility. J.B. Pennington could travel up to Sylvania. I'm thinking about these games. And I'm telling you, these podcast listeners, I'm not pausing because I'm crazy. I'm pausing for effect. I think it'll be a good game. These are some good. You start getting these playoffs, man. Some of these games, I know some of them 1 and 4s, but some of these are going to be 2s and 3s. And Geraldine at Locust Fort. I like that one, boy. That'd be I do. That'd be a good game. I mean, I wouldn't mind going up there. God, Locust Fort's a little bit of a drive, ain't it? I wouldn't mind seeing that game. 4A, run through this here. Westminster, more than likely, I think they're going to finish that 4 already over there. I think they're done in that other region. Region 5, I think so. Because I think it is. They'll come to Cherokee County, and Cherokee County played them last year. After the West Morgan game, it felt like that was the winning game to go to state. They had to turn around and go get back on the bus the next Friday and go back up there like 10 minutes up the road and play Westminster. And they took care of business up there last year. Anniston could be at Randolph. Hamilton play at West Morgan. We just talked about West Morgan. West Morgan's still undefeated. I mean, they ain't. And Madison Academy at Hoax Bluff. And being at Hoax Bluff, that could be a good game too. Now, 5A, Boaz at Moody. Are you kidding me? Who wouldn't want to be at that game? Wow. And then Arab at Leeds. Arab got beat to the night, so I wonder if that's going to, well, I guess if they put them to a 3, they'll still play a 2. These are not for sure. It's just kind of approximated guesses. Some of them are pretty much, like Spring Garden, Cherokee County, region winners, no doubt about it. They're one, okay? Some of these regions are, some of these are still battling for 3 and 4. So let's go through some of these for next week around here, and we'll talk about a few of these scores. I got a few here, and we'll jump over to some college real quick. Okay, Cedar Bluff is the Big Idol. Be careful. And Coach Ragsdale, by monster. Be careful, Coach. This is a tough week. Galesville will be at home hosting Woodville. And then next week they'll be open, be done there for the season. Congrats to seniors for hanging in there and sticking with it through the good and the bad. I'm sure Coach Knapp appreciates it. And the fans, we do too. Sandrock will be at home. They're going to host Gaston Bulldogs. And then the next week they'll be at home again. Says they had Whitesburg Christian. So they're going to get 2 more games here and get to play some more football. It's always good to play some more football, and I'll go over there and visit with them. Cherokee County will have Asheville coming in over here, and then they will be off the first of the month, and they'll get ready to host the next one. I think it was it November 5th. I think I seen some November 5th by some people. I don't know why I thought November 5th. I may be off. Maybe that. I don't know. And I think that may be the first Friday. And Cherokee County will definitely be hosting the first 2. And probably the West. They may not get West Morgan till they might not get them later again later this year. They may have to go back up there. Not a bad field or nothing. But that'd be kind of weird to have to go back up there again. So that's kind of that, and that's where everybody's going to be. So again, at home, in the county, at home. Go to Galesville. They're going to play Woodville. And you can go to Sandrock. They're going to play Gaston. And you can be out here at Bobby Joe Johnson Stadium here and catch Cherokee County lining up playing the Asheville, the Green Bulldogs, up at Asheville. Kevin Moore's people over there. Shout out Kevin over there. Big, smooth saxophone daddy over there. He opens up a lot of gigs playing the saxophone, all kind of places. Never know where he might be. He may be at the New Year's Eve bash up there or something. I don't know. So that's kind of that. Gilsville versus the Woodville game. They're 12-6 all time. Most of these matchups favor our county. I'll tell you that favors the county pretty well. Sandrock is 22-18 all time against Gaston. Cherokee County is 10-0 against Asheville. So those are that's kind of that. Now, some interesting scores, some games that went down around the area. Now, we can start here with some big scores, and then we'll go through 1A. That's just kind of how I'll do it here. Locust Fort 37, Welborn 36. Wow, really? I mean, what a game. Welborn is playing very, very good right now. And for them to come up a point short there, I seen some highlights of the game, and I couldn't tell you really exactly what happened, but y'all were please more than welcome to share. People that's over there at the game. It sounded like a great game. And then over here down in South Alabama, 4A South, Bullock 21, Booker T. Washington 20. Man, good Lord, these are some good games, man. Because this is getting down. Some of these are still region games for people, and they're fighting for positions. And in 7A, got word from Starkey talking to him other night, and Hoover 27, Thompson 26. He's got a video. You can go over on Instagram and check out Average Joe's, and you can see the last play of the game, them score down there and kick the extra point to win a game. Hoover beat Thompson. Wow. That's just – it's two big schools, and knowing how Thompson's great, man. Thompson Warriors, their coaching staff and all them, they do a great job. Big, huge, nice facilities, and a lot of – man, they got D1 players. Both these schools do. Hoover's always big time known, played on the MTV way back in the day, and Coach Probst was on there when they did that 2-a-days, and just very proud football programs, okay? Thompson and Hoover getting a win, man. And they've kind of been reeling here as of late. I mean, we keep up with them a little bit. We'll go through the scores and see, what's what. And they hadn't been the year before last. We went down there and watched them play. They played Vestavia Hills, and they played good, but they just kind of been just muddling around, and I mean, they lost their coach. He, took a job over at Gainesville over at Georgia. And so they're figuring it out. They're getting themselves in there, and they've went through some hard patches, losing some coaches here recently. But they're figuring out, wow, what a win. I mean, you beat Thompson. Seaborn, quarterback at Thompson, he's known all around the place. And then this one – I didn't I'm not confused, or I'm not exalted about who won, really. I did kind of feel like I thought Oxford I just thought they could play with Clay Joplin. A lot of people didn't, man. I've seen them both play on film. I've seen Oxford play Moody in person, and Oxford defense decided to, by God, you're getting 10 tonight, and that's all you're getting. It was 10-0, like I think in the first quarter of this game. Clay Joplin goes up 10-0, and Oxford, Coach Adams, and they could have players. How kids they decide, darn it, man, dang, what did you say there or not? A lot of you could have done that, but they didn't. 21-10, they come back and score 3 touchdowns there and hold on. I think it was 21-10. I don't think anybody else scored again in the fourth quarter. I don't think. Richardson and Wynn, players out there, Mims, quarterback. I like seeing his interview. I got to see him talk on there. Coach Short talked to him, and he just reminds me of just some good kids that we had out here when they were young, and you talk to them. They're just country, and they just love playing football. And so shout out to Coach Adams, man, Oxford. I really enjoy watching them play. Their offenses, I brag on them every week, and it's fun to see how they throw the ball left and right, screen left, screen right, draw, play action, big pass, run the ball, jump lefts, tall pitch right, screen left. It's just they're hard to get a beat on, man. I would hate to know I had to do film against Oxford. They're about like Mountain Brook trying to get ready for her. They move stuff around. Mountain Brook, their linemen always moving around. That's tough to get ready for. I'm trying to get ready for 5. It's hard. So we'll start here at 1A. Lynn 33 over Hubertville to 28. Elba, big region game, man. Shout out Alvin Henderson. I spoke out to him in a comment section, and next thing I'm going to talk to him, try to get a hold of him on Twitter, probably DM him. I like to get him on here before they hit the playoffs. Just let him tell his story. He's an Auburn commit, leads the nation rushing. Just let him talk about, the journey and process of going through high school and what he, what's his routine and what he kind of lays his talent on of, what are things he works at, and I don't know, just have fun, talk to the young man. I enjoy kids and doing youth ministry for a while and that kind of stuff, and coaching here for a while. I like talking to the young guys and giving them a chance to tell his story. What it's like going to D1 college and getting, them to look at you, and for him to tell his story to other young players and how you do that, how you go through that kind of stuff. So look for that. I'm going to try to reach out to Alvin. If anybody here knows Alvin, Message him, tell him old Big Matt here, Locker Room Sports, Cherokee County up here, Northeast Alabama. Love to just give him an open mic and just tell his story. Elba Tigers down there 49-22 over Georgiana. Good game. Shout out to them. Addison 41 over Vienna 14. 2A. This was one score that's kind of close. I wanted to mention. Pleasant Valley takes care of North Side Mountain. That kind of muddles that region a little bit, man. That's going to be that's the 2A region 7, I think. Sheesh. So, and again, Valley Head's got to play Appalachian. So I don't know. I think we got a 3-way tie for third or fourth, and for both. I mean, we still got some more games to play. 3A, Thomasville 47 over Dallas County to 0. Had to mention them, man. Shout out Thomasville guys watching down there. Y'all are playing great football. Shout out to them. Piedmont and Weaver 26-21. Wow. Weaver, congrats, coach, for putting up a fight. Way to fight there, young, because Piedmont's got a good football team, man. I seen them play it here a couple of months ago. And I've seen them play on film again twice. They're good, man. Between Stone running and Cole throwing the ball in place, and Ishmael and Pinto. Good defense. They tackle well. Coach Miller's done a good job out there for a year or two. But Weaver, I remember seeing them on probably when Coach John Holder did a show, Friday night show, probably 2 years ago. And I just nearly remember him saying, gosh, they got about 7 7th graders. What's up, Big Kahuna? I remember them saying that we're talking about 3A right here, going through some scores on Friday. Weaver hangs on, plays close with them, 21-26. But I think I remember John saying that Weaver had, I swore he said they had like 7th or 8th graders. So if that's 2 or 3 years ago, well, there'd be some 10th and 11th graders now. So Weaver's played good this year, man. I mean, you go look at their record. So shout out to them for playing a good game, and congrats for Piedmont for taking care of business. I think that'll win the region for them over there, won't it? Yeah, it's got to. Ohatchee 46, Glencoe 21. Shout out Bailey over there at Glencoe Blanchard. Mars Hill, that's the team I'm telling people keep on. Them and this Glenwood School, you got to keep on them. 47-0 over Colbert Heights. It was 2 or 3 years ago. I remember them being in the playoff stuff, and maybe they're in a bad spot. But Coach Higgins at Mars Hill, bro, they got guys. They're going to sneak around these playoffs, start beating some teams and people. You're going to look around this 3A, and Mars Hill's going to be in darn third round somewhere playing. They're going to be like, where'd they come from? And somebody's got to hope. Somebody says, "Oh, Big Matt said Mars Hill's going to be pretty good this year." Guys, they're just smoking people. Watch out for them. Lauderdale County 49 over Rogers to 0. I thought I had seen Rogers had won a game or two back a week or two ago. Thought they was turning the corner there. Glenwood, they had this rival with this Lee Scott Academy, 41-14. They were battling in this ASWIA private school stuff. Back and forth. One championship, he won it, and they win it. And then they'd win it, Glenwood and Lee Scott win it. So they're no strangers to each other. Fife also wins. Shout out to all the guys pulling them out. Geraldine gets the win too. Collinsville, big win up there for Coach Willingham. That's kind of finishing up there for 3A, 4A. Central Florida's 26, West Morgan 52. And again, I've said this several times. Let's see. You're very welcome. This West Morgan group, Turkey County played them last year, and as it gets in the playoffs, I'll get in there and start digging around in some of these teams and find out more about them. And then last year I found out about their quarterback. We talked about the tailback, and they had a couple linemen that was known. They had some tacklers. But they said last year, really? They had 22 seniors, and they're still. I don't care. That's one thing that can get some bad credit, and coaches know this. Coaches know this, but all the fans don't keep up with this. Whether they're winning all the games, they're in a bad region, Matt. That's why they're winning a lot of those, a lot of games up there in a bad region. Well, here's the thing. You got to look at how they're winning. You know, if they're smoking people, you can say, well, they're playing. You could say they're playing in a bad region, and coaches know this. When coaches prepare to play them, they know. Coaches sit in and watch film. They go, and they hear parents tell them, "Well, they're playing in a bad region up there. We'll beat them." But coaches know when they turn the film on, they go, "Well, they may be in a bad region, but they're smoking people 40-0." That's how you're supposed to win if it was a bad region. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're winning games by 30. If that's the case, and whatever, I'm just making up a scenario. I'm just making up a situation. So don't let those things fool you, because you could have a good team out there. That's not always the case. Not always. You just think the team's playing a bad region, they're coming out there winning, but they're beating people pretty well. So that they may just be good. You just show up and play. That's what your coach is going to tell you. It don't matter what the naysayers are saying. Don't matter what the media and the rat traps and all that's going on. You still got to show up and play. So for that forward region, I know that's what Coach Kelly's going to say. You better just show up and play. It don't matter who we're playing, because you're playing each other to get better every play. Pleasant Grove, they're smoking people too, man. 49-7 over West Blockton. Etowah getting a win over White Plains, 28-21. Coach Peavy turning things around there for Blue Devils, getting things churning. Anniston with a win over Aniana, 36-14. Good for them. And Boaz beats Gunnersville 42-35. I heard that game was good. I heard that was a really good game. And a game around here, 30 minutes north of here, there's two teams that ain't played. One school's only been around for, 15 years or so. And they just ain't never played. How have they not ever played? Coach Short, they were talking about it the other day. That's, crazy. Tristan had 17 tackles Friday. Well, I don't doubt that at all. Big Wayne. Tristan Brown's a wrecking machine. And he also had a touchdown and had about 70 yards rushing. Southside and Gadsden City. That's the biggest game of that county. Huge game. Huge game. How have they not ever played? You could nearly, if you could pick your boat up, ran your waist like on the Flintstones, walk across, you could just take a boat from one school to the other. I don't know how they ain't played. What a game this was. 30-23. Southside gets the victory over Gadsden City. Man, and I had that marked on the schedule. I really would like to see that game, but it didn't work out that way. Tigers, Sandrock, playing for playoff. I'm not missing that game. Okay, I could have went to a big 6A game and talked about that. I can't miss our local guys here in a battle for the playoffs and contingencies and rival, and that game meant a lot to both schools. So I couldn't miss that, but that would have been a good go to. Parker 27-17 over Homewood. Look, man, these Parker guys, I keep up with them a little bit. They got some players going to Bama, and they got some. I think Auburn's got I think one of their defensive linemen. I think they got a lineman that's going to Auburn. This Parker team's good, man. You're talking about getting around there and food around 6A. They're good. Oxford, we talked about them beating Clay Joplin 21-10. And lastly, 7A, we talked about Hoover beating Thompson 27-26. Kick the PT to win the game. What about that? Starkey, go over and find it. It's on Instagram. You can see that last play. And then Auburn High School beats Carver Montgomery 29-14. That's a heck of a game, man. There were some good games this weekend. Okay, it really was. So that's kind of it for our high school stuff, and we'll come back here and we'll drill out some. Number one, man, falls again, and Bama just takes a big old crap right up there in the middle of Neyland Stadium. You know what I mean? Was I surprised? Yeah, well, kind of. But did I expect it? Yes, I did. So hang on, and I'll be right back. I'm going to fill up my coffee cup again and grab my college notes, and we'll do some college football. Y'all stay on here, man. Don't run away. Georgia fans got plenty to brag about. Tennessee fans, you got plenty to brag about. Tennessee don't beat Alabama but every 10, 15 years, except for the year before last. So they need to brag. So y'all hang on. All right, here we are back live here in the house, Locker Room Sports. Thank y'all for coming by and hanging out with me here. Show number 257. We're going to talk some college football and figure out why in the world Bama can't get their Bama can't. Well, no. Okay, so yeah, we're going to figure out why can Bama not get their playbook right. And is Georgia got their horses in order to go on and make a run for the season? I mean, they beat number 1 Texas. Is that game? Is it mean enough? What do y'all think? Let's go over here and look at NCAA football for the week. Which game we gonna do first? Which one I write down first? I got some games for next week, but I guess we can talk about let's do Georgia, Texas first. Okay. Hey, I said right here last week live on the show, I told everybody Texas they're fake news, man. They just are. And I mean, you can watch other teams play and you can say, well, they ain't played nobody and a lot of teams ain't played nobody's. But Georgia has played a pretty good schedule this year. Played a good Clemson team that may wind up playing for their conference title. Played a good, played a good Alabama team. But Kirby is coached, and those players, some of those players have played, those seniors especially, they played in a lot of football games, man. A lot of football games. So it wasn't a big deal. It didn't seem like a big surprise to me that, Quinn comes in, throws for 211. They put in Arch. Bro goes 3 for 6, almost threw a pick. He didn't throw for like 20 yards. Carson Beck goes 23 for 41, 175 yards. But really, where everybody seems to have making the grade at in this weekend and tales of who's winning the games is who's running the ball better. That's who's winning these games. It is. That's just who's winning these games. Georgia goes for over 100. ETN runs right at close to 100. And they got Frazier. Comes in, runs for, I know it's only 10 yards. But he ran the ball. He had 4 carries. And Beck took off and ran the ball 2 or 3 times for a couple of yards. And they even put Bell in there on a play. But Wisner, he had a 10-yard long, and that's about the best run he had for the day. And then receiving, Golden had 77. But the thing with Georgia is Delp, Lovett, Smith, even Etienne and Lucky, all those guys went over 20 yards. Okay. All of them. Now, Bell didn't. He had 3 catches for 12 yards. But, you know, that game got out of hand for Texas pretty quick. And it's kind of cool that you can talk about football and know that maybe defenses still do win championships, because they did last year. And we talk about offenses, and we talk about scoring a lot of points, and we talk about 500-yard offenses and 600 yards of offense. And we talk about those kind of things, and that's fine. But it just felt like that a 285-yard night was enough to win a football game. Kirby drummed up his inner Coach Saban at the end of the game there. I said, we ain't worried about the thrills and spills and the lights and the glamour. We just want to come play football. Basically, we come to play football and chew bubble gum, and guess what? We don't got no gum. We're just going to beat the brakes off people. And the loss, Coach Saban said it on game day. He said, hey, man, this loss is wake-up call. Hello? What up, Logan Brooks? Logan Brooks, friend of ours here, said that family with Dean, he's going to dress up like a Tennessee fan. He's a Tennessee fan from up there. He's going to dress up like coming to Halloween party down here as a Tennessee fan. Logan, you might get shot. These Alabama fans are ridiculous. Crazy. Fire Deboer. I don't know what they're doing. They need to get Saban back down there, Roll Tide. I don't know what they're doing. Fooling around this clown. You know, Texas out threw back. Both of them threw the ball over 40 times. But still, defense still stuck up and won the game. I mean, it's 17-0. Just, I mean, within hardly no time at all. This game starts off. Beck goes out and, you know, with 10 minutes left in the first quarter, and he threw a pick. And should he have threw it? No. So we'll give a little bit of stats, and we'll talk about the game now. But he throws a pick down there, but he comes back out a few minutes later. Defense holds, and another tip runs through the hands. And, you know, Kirby goes over to talk to him. He threw another pick. That one kind of wasn't on him. But, bro, big boy blitzes off the corner, 06 at Georgia. He blows Ewer's face out of his mask. Ball's out. Georgia gets the ball back. At the end of the first there, they finally score. And after that, it seemed like the nerves was off. Georgia got it back, went down, kicked 3. Texas just couldn't even hardly get a first down. And then Etienne, you know, the one he dove in there, made it 17-0. And that's kind of it. And these undefeated number ones take a big tumble. They take a big dump right there in their home stadium. And then they come out with Manning. You know, we're gonna come out here in the second half, we're gonna throw the ball around. It's 20-0. Well, he gets the ball slapped out of his hand. No 11 for the Dogs pick it up. And Manning's just sitting on the sideline like, wow, this is really what it's like to play college football in the SEC. Yeah. Texas did put up a little bit of fight there towards the end of the game. Run a little counter reverse back to the other side of the field. And and they get 7 out there, get a touchdown to him, throw it out in the flat, get a score, make it 23-8 after Georgia had kicked 3. And then it happens. This would be third pick for Beck. And Georgia could have up 23-8. Man, after the first 2 picks, they probably could have packed it in. And say, you know what, it's just not our day. But that's not – Kirby's not going to let that happen. I'll tell you right now. Kirby's not letting that happen at all. The interception comes. It's 23-8. Looks like it's about 3 minutes left in the third quarter. And he just – I mean, it's just a simple drop back pass. And the Georgia receiver strong arms the Texas defender. It was all a bit of offensive interference if I've ever seen offensive interference. If I've ever seen offensive interference, I mean, you can't push the guy like he's straight arm. You can see his arm, the Georgia receiver, his arm goes straight. He's had him by the collar, and he shoves him back. You can see his arm separating. When he starts to turn, Beck's done throwed it. But, bro, y'all. Dude, he hit him right in the chest with it. And, I mean, it's the 3rd and 9 play, and the play goes for first down there. They go down and get a first down right there. That's, that. Well, I mean, it can make it, 23-15. He strong arms, he pushes him, and Levin was trying to rob him like he was a darn old Texas guy. It was like he's driving a stagecoach. Bro, he just tried to stick him up, and it didn't work. Well, here's the part. Now, I said what I saw. I'm just telling you what I've seen. I'm a fan for both teams because they're in the conference that I cover. But I'm just telling you the truth. And then the garbage comes on the field. But they'd called pass interference on Texas, and then the garbage comes on the field, and they changed their call. Well, so what? They made the right call by changing it because it was wrong to start with. It wasn't against him. He didn't grab him and turn him. He got grabbed. And Kirby's over doing this. I don't know, is that a play or is that saying how far somebody's got their hand up your butt because you're being a puppet over there acting crazy like your guy didn't just rob this guy. He freaking straight arm strangled him, dude. You're like the daggum New York slasher out here with his arm up on the guy's throat pushing him. And again, so it's 23 at a time. Sark goes over at the end zone and says, all right, guys, that's enough of that. Kirby's whining about the call, and that's fine. He's the coach. He's supposed to gripe about the call. Texas hit old Jordan 2-3 out there on a quick slant. Takes to the house, makes 23-15. But, later on, Georgia just wore on them. Wound up making it 30-15. And right there at the end of the game, Williams gets the slap, one of your defensive guys for Georgia, and slaps the ball out of Ewer's hands after he comes back in. And Georgia gets the ball back, kind of fiddles around there for a little while, whatever. And Texas, they just couldn't figure it out. Okay. They just didn't. And Sark's a good play caller. Really good play caller. He's one of the best around. So finally for that game, we'll move to the next one. I guess you could say what happened in the game. Experience. I think those players, Texas just played last year. They went to the playoffs. Washington beat them. Deboer put them out last year. So they got some experience, but then this Georgia team, they've played a lot of football. Okay. A lot of football. And obviously the Alabama win was about like what we thought. They wasn't ready. I think they felt disrespected, and Kirby preached that disrespect all week long. They picking them, and here we are, we got the same coach and same player. And they're going to pick them to win. Kirby tried to play that where's the little guy bug, and it didn't work. I think it got in their head. Because Bama just thought, we got a week to prepare, and we're just going to go out here and win. And they played the better half. They got too far ahead. Miami and Louisville. Good God, man. We got to mention that score. 52-45. I went back and forth over that game a few times later, and I kind of felt like Louisville was going to win the darn thing there a few times. So, but I said this last week, good teams find ways to win. Really great teams always find a way to win, and good teams can stay in games and hang around like Alabama. They're a good team. They'll figure out how to stay in a game and hang around it, but we knew they was going to lose 2 or 3 games this year. So we use them for example, and you got teams that just can't. It's like no matter what they do, they're going to start out pretty good, but as the game goes on, it's just like you can just see it going away. They're not going to win a game like Auburn. They ain't won a conference game. But this Miami team, I don't know why it reminded me, man, when they held on to beat Cal. It's crazy. Yeah, they should have beat Cal by 40. I agree. But it's hard to even win a game unless you've just been around it closely or something. I think a lot of people take a lot of wins for granted. It's hard to even to win a game. It's hard to even win a game at all, much less go undefeated. And Miami's, they're rocking and rolling right now, and I think their schedule's going to kind of flare out for them here in the next little bit. And I've got to talk about them because I don't like where the AP's got them at. I don't like that at all. I just don't. I don't think it's. These guys are going for over 500 yards a game. I think that good teams find ways to win. This team reminds me like that 2009 Bama team that they beat Texas. Guys, they shouldn't have beat Tennessee that year. Lane Kiffin's at Tennessee. Bama blocks 2 field goals that time, and this team, I don't know why. Y'all just laugh and hit the comment section and make laughy faces. That's fine. I don't know why, but this team reminds me a lot of that 09 Bama, and there's no similarities really in players or style at all. There's not. Not at all. Cam throws for over 300, 4 touchdowns. He graded out a 93 on his QBR, threw 32 balls, but they ran for over 220 yards. And the Martinez kid, which we've talked about him, he's good. 2 guys go for over 100 receiving. 2. Restrepo, which we talked about him in the summer. He's great. He's good. He's a good football player. And then Brown leads in receiving Saturday night. Xavier Restrepo. He's from Coconut Creek, Florida. Senior. And don't let me forget to talk about senior stuff. I keep hearing some teams talk about, well, our young guys are making the plays. No, they're not. No, they're not. I went on here and just looked and go through these tackles, and who's making plays. This Auburn stuff. Young guys are playing, they're playing, but they're not. The ones leading the tackles and stuff I'm seeing is, Cam actually showed up and caught a ball for the first time in a month. But other than that, defensively, their seniors are the one making the plays. So, Miami at Louisville gets the win. LSU at Arkansas. LSU's going to fill around and win this darn thing. It's very likely. I know A&M's leading the SEC right now. What do y'all think? It's a very likely chance that they could. What's up, Jeff? Yeah, I was talking about we're getting fixed to talk about Ohio State. Juju threw for 30 passes for 420 yards, 6 touchdowns. The USC commit, as of now, he's still a USC commit. I don't think that's going to last long because that's the wheels falling off that bus quick. But Jeff, we was talking about LSU at Arkansas and what a game that tournament. Nussmeier, man, Alabama's got to go down there in about 2 or 3 weeks. 2 weeks. That's Bama's season. They lose that, it's done. I mean, it's not done. That's a bad word. It's not where their crazy fans think that it needs to be. It's national championship or bust, or I'm not watching no more football. Those people, it's over for them. Not for me, because I'm gonna watch them every time they play anyway. So I'm a fan. I enjoy. I root for the team, and no matter good and bad. And I've seen it all from Curry to Shoeless, all in between. So I like LSU's dangerous, man. They're a very dangerous team right now. They really are. Iowa State and UCF. Bro, that guy drops a darn ball going in the end zone. That could have been different. Could have changed the game. What about Iowa State? They're going to win the darn conference over there. What about that? Who saw that coming? I mean, somebody please tell me. Who of anybody out there saw that coming at all? Iowa State over there. Roku Betts, their quarterback, 20 for 46, 274 yards, graded out at a 55. It's terrible. Terrible. That's bad as Milroe was. But he threw 2 picks. But why did they win, Matt? Well, they won for the same reason Alabama lost. Because Iowa State run for 260 yards. That's why. And when you're running the ball, the clock's running. And when you get ahead to keep a lead, you run the ball. Not for 70 yards expect to win a football game. That's what good teams do. They figure out a way to win. So hats off to Iowa State for being a good team and figuring out a way to win a game. It don't matter if they're playing a 3-4 UCF. UCF showed up to play. They had a good week of practice, and they're ready to kick somebody's teeth in. Some people don't show up ready to play. They just roll their helmets out there and think that's how it works. Texas A&M took care of business over Mississippi State. Now, Mississippi State did put up a fight with them. I wanted to see what Freddie Wiggan. I'm just kidding. It's not Freddie Wigman. 217. Oh, he threw 2 picks. I didn't see his stat, but I did see Moss. He's having a good year, man. Let's see. What has he got on the year already? Levon Moss, Texas A&M receiver. Dude, he's knocking at 700 yards, 8 touchdowns. He's from Walker, Louisiana. Junior. Wow. Well, I mean, I guess everybody just kind of keeps sleeping on Texas A&M. I'm fixing to find out. Because they're going to do that shirt, what Texas said. What was that shirt say? F around and find out. Had on their shirt. Here's a crazy surprise. Dean's got the picks. I think maybe I did pick Indiana. I don't remember. I think I picked Indiana because it was there. I'll pick a home team. A lot of times I'll go for a home team. Indiana, Nebraska. Bro. Curtis Roku. 200 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Rush for 200. Wow, imagine that. The team led in rushing won a game. 280 passing. Wow. Justice Elson, hats off to you, young man. Senior, 5'9", 210 pounds from Ashburn, Virginia. Good-looking guy, man. He looks like a tailback. 8 touchdowns, over 500 yards rushing. Indiana? 56-7. I mean, it ain't even close. Nebraska didn't even – they scored in the second quarter. They didn't score no more. And Ravioli I think he had 3 or 4 picks. They turned the ball over a lot. Notre Dame 31-13 over Georgia Tech. Not really surprised. I thought Georgia Tech had been playing a little better than that at the time. SMU beat Stanford, blah, blah, blah. Illinois, 21-7 over Michigan. Hats off to Illinois. They're hanging around there, being ranked. Army beats East Carolina. East Carolina's a good program. South Carolina at Oklahoma, 35-9. Oklahoma, your season's over. I don't know what's happened. Well, they played their third-string quarterback for some reason. I hadn't heard any intel on why. North Carolina State sneaks off a win after just completely bombing their whole season. 24 to what was the final score? I think North Carolina State was 24. Terrible. 24-23 over Cal. Kansas beat Houston. I kind of thought Houston was going to be a little better than that. Daniels threw for over 247 yards out there. UAB takes a loss to South Florida. And, yes, I'm fixing to tell you something. Billy Edwards Jr. throwed for 373 yards at Maryland in their win over USC. What is going on, man? We're in a twilight zone or something. This is some weird crap. Shout out to Coach Prime. Shadir throws for 250, 34-7 over Arizona. Arizona kind of fluffed out there towards the end. And Vanderbilt got their mind on the Longhorns. 24-14. They took care of Ball State. Found a way to win, man. I can dig it. Memphis beat North Texas. And the Gators destroyed Kentucky. I just ain't seen – wow, crap. I mean, what the heck? I mean, they go in at halftime up 27-13. Florida, you picked a bad time to show up and play, but I mean, at least you did. Lagway for 260 yards, he threw a pick, but they ran the ball they had a good night running the ball. Kentucky did not. Badger, 150 yards. Dyke had good yards. Wilson. I didn't see any of that game at all. But I seen the halftime score and I was like, holy crap, man. What is Stoops' darn wheels done fell off the bus. So Oregon beat Purdue. No news there. Florida State loses another game, this time to Duke, 23-16. I mean, you got the other team's stats. Rushing leader, 88 yards against Florida State. Receiving leader, 48 yards. And how does the winning team have a leading receiver of 50 yards? Bro, just cancel the season, and you just need to – they're going to have to start all the way over for real. For real. So, we'll do these last two games, but I'll say right now, I'm dangerous over Van Buren, 240 yards at A&M. Y'all better watch A&M. They're going to fool around here, and they're going to beat some people. Now, the games, two games that I watched the most, that I watched closely out of all, we'll get off here and end with this. I watched Auburn and Missouri play 21-17. Auburn's winning the game. They're going in the fourth quarter, and I think, well, I think I picked Auburn to win. Well, going in there and taking care of business, 354 total yards for Mizzou, 286 for Auburn. So, when you see yardage and you see things like that, but I watched the game so I can have a better talk about it. 0 for 1 on fourth down for Auburn. Not great. 6 penalties. Not too bad. Auburn held the ball a lot, but they turned the ball over. But Missouri did twice. So you can't really blame it on that. In watching the game, I'm going to say that how it kind of felt. 43 QBR for Thorne. He's just bad, bro. Look, I get on here and harp on. They're just bad. And you can go back and watch film studies. You can find some studies on some of the play calling is just strange. It's not real good. I don't know what he's calling. So you got guys running a mesh across, and then two receivers are tangled up on the sideline. Why are they? It's like they both run an out, like 2 yards from each other. Like what? It can't be the play called that way. It can't be. You got some receivers that don't know what they're doing. That's the first thing. There's no reason for receivers to be like one standing 5 yards behind the other one. Because as soon as the ball's even to be thrown that way, the other defender's going to jump it and either jump the route or pick it, or they got problems. They're not getting the coaching that's going in during practice. They're not receiving it well. That's obvious. They haven't really hadn't won a game. Besides, I mean, Alabama A&M's not a win, or New Mexico. They can't win a game. They're worse this year. Worse. How can you be worse? They barely made a bowl game. They lost it. What really kind of fluffed me there, and I felt like they're going to blow this. They're going to need that timeout later in the game. I don't remember if it was their tight end, if it was Fairweather or who. He lined up in the little H-back spot right there behind the tackle. Thorne calls timeout and goes to the sideline. And Freeze is just bothered. And I'm not a lip reader professionally, but I'm not stupid neither. He said, why don't you just run the play? Just run the daggum play. And he said, like, well, he was lined up. He had his mouth. He said, well, he's lined up in the wrong place. And I and Freeze just kind of rubbed his head like, this guy's an idiot. And he's kind of got, in some aspects, not physically, Milroe and Throne are kind of the same boat. If you want to look at it that way, they're both trying to learn new things that some stuff they've probably never seen. Thorne's a Yankee, come from up north. His dad was a coach. Granddaddy coached football. He knows football. But this, whatever kind of supercharged high school offense that Freeze runs, that's what he does. Thorne's just not acceptive to it. He can't run it. That's obvious. And I don't understand why. Bro, what are you salvaging? You're not going to a ball game. It's all those ideas are over. That's done. Hank's there. Just play Hank, man. Just put Brown in this next game. Auburn's going to Kentucky. Okay. And actually, like, I don't know, probably, what was it, 10 years ago, they started, was it Johnson they started at Kentucky? Sparked the season for Auburn. They wound up going on and winning the next few games. Just start Brown. Peyton can't run the system. Freeze is exhausted mentally trying to explain it to him. And I think some of it is his own pride, because obviously he's stubborn and he just can't admit when he's wrong, because he thought he could get Peyton into the idea of run this RPO style offense. It's a supercharged high school offense. That's all it is. It's not complicated. Cam Newton talked about it when he went pros in those Gruden classes that he'd do with everybody. wanted him to draw up a play for Gruden, told him Cam that, and he's like, pretty much Cam said, I really can't draw you a play. It just we just lay it out there, and I just kind of read it, and I either hand it, pull it, run it, or throw it. And Cam was good at it. Cam's a great athlete. So, I mean, I don't know how many ways you can cut it. They're not going to run the ball. Same kind of thing you have in Alabama. Auburn did rush for 110 finally. Quiz did get the ball about 20 times. That's kind of what you wanted. Shout out Jeremiah Cobb, got 2 rushes, played down here at Catholic. Cam Coleman showed up, had 1 catch, 47 yards. Never seen him again. That's it. 1 catch. I don't know. I think I said this last week. I think Cam he's so physically gifted. He could just mash people in high school because he's just bigger and stronger than most, especially where he played down there in that area. He could just jump over guys and just make people look bad. But I think playing now, he's got into college, and that don't just work all the time on everybody anymore because everybody's pretty good. I know this is probably the better defense they've seen this year, I would have to say. And he can run and jump with the best of them, but he's learning. And there's a learning curve there, and he's just in that curve right now. Robert Lewis had 4 catches for 40, averaged about 10 a catch. Malcolm Simmons had 4 catches for about 30. Even Quiz caught the ball twice. And KLS, he only had 2 catches. I'm not sure, what really was all going on there. Defense, I wanted to mention this. Asante and Dorian led the team in tackles. But you got guys that they keep saying that these freshmen are leading the team. Jerry Thompson, defense senior, kid played from Texas. He's got nearly 30 tackles on here. He's a senior. I keep hearing them say, well, the freshman they're not. You may have a freshman catching the ball and stuff sometimes, but the guys leading the team in tackles. Another one, Asante from Virginia, senior. And some of these guys like McLeod and them, they're transfers. He's from Washington, D.C., senior. 5 sacks, 24 solos. He's 6'1", 238. He's a good football player. So we got these Auburn podcast people. Y'all got to stop. You got to stop doing that. I know why they're doing it. They're trying to keep their recruiting class together. And I don't care what you say. At some point, the ADs and stuff are going to start looking. They're looking. I'm telling you, I watch podcasts of people that talk to players down there. And there's people not happy. They ain't won a conference game, and I don't think they're going to. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see where. I think some of these media places try to keep things smile, happy looking, until the camera goes off and they're like, oh God, this is bad. Now the class coming, I don't know the problem is the coaches may not be there. And the coaches that recruited you, if there's any thought that they're going to get fired in this offseason, that hurts your recruiting because kids recruit, people make relationships. The school, the brand can get a kid's foot in the door. Alabama being who they are, they're going to get kids in the door. But you still got to make relationships. And they still got to like what they see somewhat to commit. So Auburn, I don't have to break the game down. Y'all can, if you've watched the game or whatever, but they just find a way to mess it up. When he called that timeout right there towards the end of the game, like I said, when he called that timeout and Freeze went over to him and said whatever, you just run the play. That's what he said. Just run the play. What are you doing? And I thought that they're going to need that timeout because they're going to mess this up somewhere along the way. And that's just sure enough, that's what happened. And lastly, we'll move on to the next game. I think there was a little bit of fake news going on there, a little little fake hype. Why do I say that? Well, Cook went out. I quick. I mean, part of the like within the first few minutes of the game, Missouri started quarterbacks out. Oh, other homeboy comes in. He's like the fourth string backup from Notre Dame, and we know how Notre Dame backups are. Those guys are usually just good at lacrosse. Like, got one at Bama there. So, I don't know where you go from here for Auburn. They're just going to have to just accept it. They're probably not going to win no more games, no conference games. They got Kentucky this weekend. I think they could probably beat them. I do. I had them. I thought they had a shot to beat Missouri, and they did. But the fake news point I was making, Cook goes out, gets hurt. Fourth string Notre Dame guy comes in, and he's just bad. He's just, bless his heart, he's trying to do the best he can. He never thought in 100 years that Cook's going to go out and he's going to go in, oh my God, I got to go and play. And Auburn defensive line, I mean, they're not terrible. They get after you, But the only reason the game was even close was because Cook wasn't in there. I'm sorry, fans. It's just the way it is. That obviously that's true, because when he come back in, I mean, within a few plays they score, and they pull away, and they wind up beating them. So it probably could have been a little worse than what it was. If Cook stays in and plays the whole game and he never hurts his ankle, and if Luther Burton is 100%, it may have got even worse, because none of them corners are going to be able to cover him. They're too young back there. They're not real good. And you can go watch these film breakdowns, and this guy, I shared it with some people, some Auburn fans. He breaks down Auburn's offensive line. They're just getting run through. These guys are pushing their offensive linemen in the backfield and making a mess of some plays. First play, they lose 10 on a sack because they're just leaking all over the place. Now, I say that on Twitter, and you don't know nothing about football, idiot. Auburn's offensive line's fine. Well, people that do it for a living and break down film say you're a fool. So, and you're just being a fan, that's fine. You can be a fan. Everybody's a fan of somebody. And I don't get paid from Alabama or my alma mater, Jacksonville, either one, to be a fan of any of them. I'm just telling you what it is. So, on from here, I would start Hank Brown if I'm Auburn next week. What do you got to lose, man? Just play him. You're going to play him probably next year. You got Deuce Knight coming, but I don't know if you can dump him straight to the Wolves. Just throw him right in there. Maybe want him to play behind Hank. Put him in some here or there. Let him get a feel for the game. Let him run some little RPO. Maybe throw a little here or there. Run it some. Get his legs under him. Make him feel like he's his worth. What money they're paying him. Make him feel like he's earning his pay a little bit. That's what I would do. I was telling you, that's just what I do. Now, thank you guys for coming by and hanging out here at Locker Room Sports Talk. If you hadn't already, subscribe to the channel. It's very easy. It's free. And it don't do anything but just let you know when we go live. Sunday nights at 6 and Tuesday and Thursday at about 5 o'clock. Tuesday night, I'll do some games, college games for next week. Thursday night, we'll do we've got about a few more Thursday night games. Do some high school ball, and then we'll start talking about playoffs. Now, Alabama. Key bullet points here, I guess. I could talk about this for a long time. If people want to get in the chat here and argue with me about it, that's fine. Who's the running back coach at? Where at, Jeff? At Auburn? I don't know now. It was Cadillac. Yeah, I think he had hurt his ankle. I think they shotted him up, brought him back in. So, Alabama. Yeah, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. Come by and hang out with us. Hit the likes on Facebook and come back and hang out with us all through the week. So, the Crimson Tide. 24-17 final score. Tennessee gets it done at the end. They 24-10 is the last half score. Tennessee played the second half. And Bama did too, but just not enough. They squandered their times and they squandered turnovers, did not turn them into points. I thought the defense played fair. Nico only threw for he didn't even throw for 200 yards. Defensive line, for the most part, they're maybe a B. I mean, homeboy gassed him for about 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. So when it mattered, if you look at just his yards, it don't seem crazy, but Tennessee scored and ran the ball when it mattered. Does that make sense? Alabama did not. Jam had 42, Haynes had 22, and Milroe had 14 rushes for like 11 yards. So they finished with 75 yards total rushing. And I always do the little stat stuff first to give people an idea that may not have watched the whole thing. And QBR, Jalen graded out at a 65.3. Now, by the standards from NFL, that's a good grade. But when you throw the ball 45 times, that's not really a good grade at all. And let's talk about Nico here. He graded out at 81. 14 for 27, done his job, handed the ball off some, threw the ball some, didn't ask his teammates to do too much. They went up rushing the ball running attempts 41 times, Bama 34 times. That's one of the parts that can help build toward losses. And the same thing that beat Alabama last time they was up there, this time it was only 115 yards in penalties. Well, Tennessee had 95 yards in penalties. Well, there's some timely, costly ones, like when they're pulling on the players and keeping them from running routes, grabbing them by the waist and pulling them. That happened. Offsides, the guy clearly jumped. He was offsides. He was way through the neutral zone when they snapped the ball. That's offsides. And it's 3rd and 10, so I think it's 3rd and 5. Another, missed call. And just a lot of missed calls, and probably at least half of them, though, Bama earned them easily by themselves, just by being slapsticks. These other teams are playing close with them now because they're not elite like they used to be. They can't just go out there and smoke people because they don't have the depth like they used to have. And people get in their face and talk to them, and you think you have to turn around and react. You don't. And Moore's situation of kicking the ball, which was stupid, I didn't think it's that big of a deal because the game was over. But this game wasn't over. Bama still had a chance. And why didn't Deboer punt? He's a fool, a coach. He shouldn't even be coaching. He ain't good. We didn't have any timeouts, you fool. That's why. Because they'd have got the ball and just run the clock out. Why? I had 2 or 3 people say that. Are you even watching the game, or are you just trolling and trying to be funny? Because it just sounds stupid. No, you don't. We don't have no timeouts. You don't punt the ball. Law streaks across the middle. And because of our guard play, mainly Booker, he's terrible. I griped about it last year. I'm still griping about him this year. He's got to go. There's got to be somebody else walking around at the Piggly Wiggly down there in Tuscaloosa somewhere that can freaking block, that can move his freaking feet. Why can't he move his feet? Dude, this has been going on for games and multi-numbered games. This is happening. Time after time, he won't move his feet. And he looks like a sweet kid. I see him come on the round table. and talk every once a week. Nice guy. But that don't mean he's a good football player. I can see with my 4 eyes he's not. This is it just keeps happening. And they keep putting up with it because that why? I guess there ain't nobody else. Crap. It's ridiculous. That's the same crap you got to keep putting up with. That's why that pass was behind Law. He was the mesh coming across. He didn't throw it up top. That was probably the right place to throw it. But he had to throw it behind him because he's got a dude in his face at 6'10" fixing to sack him. Because frickin' Brooker and Pritchett ain't. That right side's bad. It just is. Now, Proctor and them, they grade out every week, 90s, 92s. He had one guy get by him one time. And Tennessee's defense is good. We can't come on here and just drown Alabama and how bad they are, how bad they are, and how bad they are. You have to say at some point Tennessee has a good football team. They got the number 5 defense. I picked this to happen in the summer. Now, this week, the way Tennessee had been playing, I said last week, Tennessee has a shot to win the game as good as Bama does. This game will probably be a touchdown. Either way, somebody's going to make a play. They're going to shoot the guns up and shoot them pigeons, and who misses first loses. And that's exactly what happened. But Bama had the more opportunities to win the game than Tennessee. So that play there at the end, I'll work backwards there. He's had to throw it behind Law because Booker can't block. He's chasing people all over the field. And it's not just Tennessee. I mean, if it's just that game, I wouldn't said a word because you just think, well, they're good up front. They are. They was even missing their top guy. What has been like feet of played. So he has to throw it behind Law. He has to reach back. He can't catch it. Because if you throw it out in front of him, he runs. He's first down. No doubt. First down, clock stops. They could probably score to tie the game. It's possible. We'll never know because the line ain't blocking. And then Kendrick turns around and dude gets in his jaw and tells him he's trash and his mama dresses him funny and whatever else he said to him. And he ain't man enough to just keep walking. Because he loves old Ish more than he does the other 10 guys that's been busting their tail all summer and put up with all this crap that they've had to put up with, losing their coach, lost 30 players, but old Ish is more important. I got to make sure I turn around and slap him in the face on my hands. That'll show him. No, you fool. You just lost. Because now you get 15. He hit him back, but they're not calling at it, Tennessee. People, look, you say whatever you want to. Bama's crying about calls. They've got 47 titles. Shut up. Shut up. We're talking about a game. And the facts are the facts. You're not going to get calls at Tennessee. I don't care who goes up there and plays them. Especially Bama. It's just not going to happen. Saban's gone. They don't care. But Law can't keep his hands down and walk away. So he acts like a 12-year-old in a flag football game. It's not the same as what Moore did. Moore was PO because he couldn't get the plays in, and the game's over. Law cost him the game probably. Just from being stupid. I don't even want to say it's different. It's just dumb. That kind of stuff makes me so mad. I've been around young guys, and that killed. It's just saying to me, I don't. You totally blacked out the whole thought that there's 10 other people out here that you're playing football. It's all about old Ish. That's not how you win games. It's a team sport. That cost them game. Now, working back to the front part of the game, Bama comes out and the freaking ball hits Milroe in the chest and hits the ground. They nearly fumbled the opening play. And I had to watch that on the replay because we couldn't watch it because we're having to watch Miami take a knee when they're blowing somebody out, Louisville out. And we got to take a knee. And then we got to watch the coaches talk, hey, man, good game. I'll see you over. We'll play parsnips Friday night and bring your wife. Yeah, she's stupid. Your mama's ugly too. I don't want to see that. Get on the game. Put that over on ESPN Plus or something. That's why we got 85 sports channels. So we can't even see the open the game. That it just aggravated everybody. Ignorance. So he takes the ball off the chest, first play. Then we get a penalty the next play. They're just not playing good. So obviously they ain't got their minds right. Now, by time halftime gets here, it's just really 7-0. But the defense, the D-backs, all very young. Sab and Moore's the only real veterans back there that's played football. Moore, the only guy that's really ever won any games, hardly on the team at all, besides maybe Milroe and a few of the linemen. They get picks. We get turnovers, and they don't turn them into points. That's a huge deal. You can't win games. You got to turn turnovers. It's good you stopped them from scoring, but to be a real good team, not just, well, they're pretty good. That's where the difference is with this team and the old teams of past that Saban had. They're just not, hey, they're really good this year. They probably don't lose about one game, probably. They may run the table. Most teams not run. Running the table stuff's over. I'll probably have to sit here and tell you this, I guess, every Sunday. There's nobody going to be undefeated. No, people's losing. Now, these other little sparkly teams that shine and flying around in the night right here, Indiana, Pitt, whatever you're going to say, they're going to catch one. Wait till Miami plays Clemson. I'm telling you, Clemson, they don't even hit the portal. Matt, what are you talking about? Dabo don't know nothing. The portal stuff's going to calm down. Dabo's going to come out on the other side of this. So by the come out after halftime, Tennessee makes adjustments. They decide they're going to start running the football. Well, Alabama says they're going to run the football a little bit. And they get in there and darn score with it. Have a lead. Huh. And Nick Sheridan goes brain dead and decides, let's don't do that anymore. Let's don't hand it off to anybody ever again. They keep playing like they're behind by a lot. I'm telling in here in the living room, had a house full of people, came over, brother-in-law and them, and Todd and the wife and son come in, watched it with us, had a good time. Glad everybody got to come hang out and eat and had a good time. But the idea of how they play the game is like they're losing by 30. Like we got to hurry up and score. Why do you need to hurry up and score for? That's the problem I have. And I've got 2 more points and we'll get off here. I won't keep you no more longer. Thank y'all for coming by and hanging out, by the way. I do appreciate it. Is it the fact that where I mentioned earlier, and I tied Auburn and Alabama together with quarterback problems, do you think some of this is because Sheridan and Deboer have decided to pour a little bit more every week? They're giving Milroe a little more in his cup, and he's just not handling it well, learning a new offense. And he maybe just he's just not football smart enough to get what that offense is trying to do. Same as Thorne, he just don't get. I don't mean smart like he can't have a degree and he's got a pretty high IQ. I mean football smart, as in what the coaches are trying to teach him and develop him into what they want him to be. Guys, you know how many coordinators Milroe's been through? About 3. That's hard. Thorne's been through about 3. That's tough. And for what both the teams probably want to do, Auburn and Alabama would be better to switch quarterbacks. Think about that. Just think about that. So I think that some of this it's a lot of things combined, and people want to pile on one thing. Fire Deboer, he's a fool. It's his first year, man. He's trying to implement what he's good at. Those are not even his players. He ain't recruited none of them kids. Those are Saban's kids. These are kids that come to play for Reese and them. They were the ones that's been there the past couple of years. Right? So let him get his kids in there. Let him see what he can do. So the next question, and we'll end it on this. I heard some people say last night they're sick of hearing growing pains. Well, you can be sick of hearing it, but it don't mean it's not true. This team is growing in a way of chemistry of coaches getting used to each other. And the coaches only had 6 weeks or so, 8 weeks to be with this group to teach them a whole new defense and offense. You're talking about a culture shock. That's crazy. It's not like at Auburn, he's already been there a year, man. They should not be worse. He's already been there a year. There's just some of his kids playing. He had a chance to go get a quarterback, and he didn't because he's too prideful. He don't want to admit that he's wrong, that he's not a QB whisperer. He's just had good quarterbacks. He don't make them. He gets them and coaches them up, makes a real good quarterback a little bit better. But you can't take an average quarterback, make him any good. We've done seen it. I don't want to hear about it. That's debate's over. So that talk that I heard was, well, do we bench Milroe, put in Simpson? And people are going to holler that. And people that don't follow football closely, that's fine. A lot of people don't have time to watch it all the time. Cover it, keep up with all of it like I do. That's what I'm supposed to do. And that's why you're supposed to subscribe here and watch the show. And I can give you a little information that you may not know about. That wouldn't be probably the better idea because Ty probably would have got sacked several times. Milroe's got always legs are going to be able to keep him out of trouble. And who's to say that has Ty learned the offense any better than Milroe has? I don't know. But it is what it is, and you can either be a fan of the team and pull for them either way, or we can all act like we're armchair quarterbacks and pretend like we know what's really going on. You ought to run the ball more. Yeah, no crap. They probably know that, But penalties change how plays and situations are called for different plays. I just talked about it with a coach over here the other night on the field after a game. Talked to him about it. You have a certain set of plays you got for these situations. Then you get offsides or something. Well, it's 10 yards back. Well, 3rd and 2 goes to, or whatever, to 3rd and 12. Or you get just a little 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd and 7. Well, you tell them to go ahead and run it, but this play usually is good for 5. Now it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. God dang it. A penalty has put us in a bad spot. And when Bama was trying to run the ball a lot of those times, we're getting those penalties. Just dumb stuff. So it changes how the game is played. It changes the speed of the game. And learning those plays by those players, they're still figuring it out. But the crap I said about Booker, no, that's on him. I'm tired of talking about it. I can't tell a kid to be better. He just ain't. But I'll bet you can't. Nope, I'm not. And I'm not down there. I'm not a student at Alabama. I'm not looking to play football. But I can tell you what I see. There's problems. Defensive line, they could probably grade out okay. They did fair. I thought the D-backs did okay. That was at one time there were 5 freshmen on the field in defensive backfield. 5. Moore was the only guy back there that played any college football last year. There was guys out there that's never played college football. So fans, don't freak out. Those guys are good. Macumba even had a pick. He's great. He played Eric Clay Chauvel. The boys run Wildcat quarterback by himself and beat Thompson about single-handedly. He's good. There's good players there at Bama. They got guys that can play. You just got to wait. And with Milroe, you can't see what he's seeing down the field. You just see this little bubble that you live in as fans watching on TV. When you get the coach video or the wide view, dude, those receivers they ain't nobody open. Why was he just throwing it to Ryan 18 times? Because he's about the only one who can get open. Why is the homeboy on Twitter gripe about not getting catches? Because he can't get open. So if you want to go on Twitter and gripe about it, bro, kick rocks. If that's all you do is cry about, I want the ball more, get open. Find a way to come back. How about come back to the ball? When you see your quarterback scrambling, come back down to the guy. Because I've seen on film, a lot of these other guys can't get open. Go work. Stop going on social media telling us that you want the ball more. How about just show up at practice and work more? And go to your coach, say, Coach, I want the ball more, and I know I'm going to put in the time, and I know I didn't get open a lot like I should. Don't go on Twitter and blast that stuff like that. You're being a fool. You don't need them kind of people on your team. So if he wants to be gone, see you, buddy. I'll lose my starting quarterback for that kind of stuff. I don't care. I'll pull a Bear Bryant, Joe Namath, white shoes. You ain't playing today. Well, I guess we won't win the game then. Have a seat. Hey, Steve, get your stuff. You're going in. But, Coach, I'm Joe Namath. Bear said him. He said, I don't care who you are. It's not how it works. So, for those the discipline comment, we'll end with that. The stuff about the discipline, those kind of things have been happening. And if you can't see that, then you're just either being naive, you're being foolish, being funny, and you're trolling, just trying to get a laugh. So it's one of those. It's because you have to know, if you're a fan, you saw that stuff is carried over for the past 2 or 3 years. This kind of stuff's been happening. So that kind of stuff, Kendrick Law pushing the boy in the face, you can't do that. That is a discipline problem. That's self-discipline. He don't respect his team. That ain't even discipline to me. He's just being a jerk. He's being selfish. He's not a team player. And I don't need kids who are not team players. And maybe that's why Law don't play. And we've asked that question every week. Why don't Kendrick play more? Maybe because that may be the kind of guy he is at practice. And coach ain't putting up with it, so he's not getting a lot of reps. I don't know. I'm just putting out a guess. Yeah, well, Keith, you're right. He could get the ball out faster. But golly, I don't know how many. At least several of those third downs. Run the ball. What are we doing down there on like the freaking 5-yard line? It's 3rd and 2. We could have got a first down. He throws a pick in the end zone. Why are we even throwing the ball? You just have to go back and watch the game. If you're a fan and you want to break down games, that's what I do. That's why I do that, so I can talk about it more in depth with you guys. What are we doing? Why? Okay, here's what it is. Here's things that it could be. My apologies. It's either one, what I said a while ago, Milroe's football IQ for that offense is low. He just can't. He can't. It's too much. It's just too. He's not Penix, and if they're trying to just take a different surrounding and take that stencil and put it over and put that Penix stencil over Milroe and just color it in and pull it back and go, ta-da. Well, that don't look the same. It's not the same. Milroe's not Penix. They're nothing the same. Penix could freaking throw footballs in buckets at 60 yards. Short, medium, long. He was good. I mean, he's playing football in the NFL. He's doing pretty good. That's not Jalen. Jalen's a scat guy. And that's stupid. If you run that freaking stupid, empty, dumb backfield one more goddamn time and put him peeling out to the left, Booker can't get over there and block that. Stop running that play. And Jalen's, he can't even see his blocker. That's what bothered me. Because I've been the fat boy having run out there and block. You have to tell your quarterback, stop outrunning me. I can't run as fast as you. Booker can't get over there. They're tripping over each other because Tennessee's getting such a push off the line. They're falling over each other. Stop running that play. They see it on film. It's done. Sheridan, throw that away. Throw it away. So it's either one, he just can't get a hold of the grasp of the offense because they're probably giving him a little more plays every week. They probably – because it seemed like last year when Reese Scrapped it. That South Florida, I'm trying to make Jalen into something that he's not. I'm not used to this type of player. Scrap it. Sit down with him. Let's just have a meeting. We may lose the rest of these games, but me and he's going, let's just sit in here and talk, Jalen. This is Reese and Jalen. Show me what you like. Let's get on the film here and show me. And he goes, sit down there probably with him for 3 or 4 hours. And Reese just takes those clips of those plays that he liked and he put them in a playbook and they just work from that. And it worked. He just made it simple for him and did just be good at be great at what you're good at. That's Abraham Lincoln. Just be great at whatever it is you're good at. And it just seems like Nick Sheridan they're trying to spray paint that image over with Penix on Milroe. 45 passes? Who in the name of the Lord is what Alabama quarterback needs to throw 45 passes? You got 2 good running backs. Really 3. I think he got 3 good backs. But maybe he don't have a lot of faith in them because the offensive line, like Booker and Pritchett, are crap, and they can't run block. That may be a thing too, because he sees them at practice. We don't. I'm just putting out scenarios to make talking points. That's why you came by here. Sports media. I'm not telling you what it is. I don't know. I ain't got a clue. So that could be it. And here's a stupid one, and I'm gonna say it just because I don't know. I like to have fun, and I'm kind of being silly. God, he missed some of those passes. I mean, dudes wide open. He's throwing them over their heads so bad it looks like he meant to. Like, is there some kind of his granddaddy in debt with somebody and they're going to pay off? He's got money. He's got NIL. You know, he does commercials for, I know he's got a deal with Beats earbuds and stuff. Y'all tell me, what's this tie-in between Thorne and Milroe? They're having trouble with their offensive coaches, and their offensive coaches are very frustrated with them. So he's either on the take, somebody's dropping him some money. There's been a lot of weird stuff this year. Weird. Or what it is really, and being serious, it's just hard for them to learn a new style of offense. They're probably pouring on a little bit of it, probably too much, and Jalen's trying the best he can. And it looks like he has digressed. He's not ascending, he's descending. He's been worse than he was last week. But in his defense, and the team offensively, guys, if you didn't watch the game, you just wouldn't know. They couldn't hear crap. They couldn't hear nothing. They couldn't even go on silent. You see when he raises his leg, he backs up and he raises his knee. And the center's trying to look between his legs. Brailsford. Well, they're talking to each other, and he said they're leaning over on after the game, I watched one of the guys. He said he's leaning over my back. I can't hear nothing. I hear something he's saying, but I can't make it out. It's just crazy loud in there. And that's the thing, the greatness of the college football atmosphere. That. And it made a difference. So shout out Bowles, Rocky Top fans, because it made a difference. And it does, them winning, again, we got to stop just talking about Bama not playing good. Tennessee played a good game. Heupel had a good plan. They've been a second half team all year. They feel like their defense keeps them in the games. If they can keep it close, they think we can get here in the second half and see what they're going to do, and we'll just stand back and rope-a-dope and be Ali, and we'll come out and we'll jab. We'll hit them with a few big punches because let's be honest, Bama missed opportunities on turnovers that should have turned to points that they didn't do. They didn't get. Missed field goal. Tennessee missed field goals. But Nico missed at least 5 guys that streak past those young cats at Bama, those DBs. Here, they're open. I mean, bro, it's 6. And he overthrew them. And I didn't see Bama shoot for a lot of those big shots down the side. They just didn't. So that week off before Georgia, they could really work those plays for that game for a half, because that's just the full jar that Milroe could handle. He couldn't handle any more in the jar. He couldn't take any more info. And they come out and put on a show. And they scored and went up 4 touchdowns on Georgia. So that shows that it can happen. But you don't get a bye week before every game. Then when he had to turn around and get ready for SC, not so good. Then you got to turn around and go get ready for Tennessee. Worse. And it didn't help, like I said, that they can't hear. You can't even get the ball. That's why the first snap of the game hits him in the chest. You're thinking, man, if it's going to be this way today, well, they're probably not winning the game. So I'll end it with this. If you're a fan, just be a fan and enjoy your team, because college football, as I hate to be that old guy in the room, the old guy on the porch chewing tobacco. I hate to be that guy, but I really don't. It's that game's dead. That game's over. Teams can't hoard players because they want to go play, and they can go play now. Used to, you couldn't just go to different schools. We had some guy that went from, I think it's Greg McElroy was talking about the other day. He went from like A&M to Memphis to Penn State and then to Miami. I mean, he went to like 5 schools in the summer. Like, I mean, from the end of the season till it started. So that's what you got. Yeah, Georgia's got to still play. They got to go. They got to play. Georgia, Tennessee play. So that's the gripe with Auburn and Alabama and Georgia. Those are the 3. We kind of talk about them mostly. Now, we talked about the other teams that they play and stuff like that. And I told you that Texas A&M is super dangerous. And to end on the note right here, Tuesday, come back and we'll talk about look, don't roll your eyes when I say Texas is at Vanderbilt. It's probably I'm going to watch the game. We're going to see how Texas – it's how you respond from those losses. That's where you find out. Okay? And, Bama lost to Vandy and they responded well. Well, now they lost Tennessee. Well, they got Mizzou coming in. Let's see how they respond. If I'm picking the game today, I think I like Bama to win that game. Mizzou at Bama, just mentioned that. LSU, give me that highlighter. You want to know the SEC championship? I know Georgia beat number 1 Texas, so don't start on me on the comment section. LSU at A&M, I'll just say this. This Saturday game we just saw, Texas and Georgia, the winner of that's going to play the winner of this, LSU at A&M. A&M's number 1, bro. They're leading the conference. And if I'm picking right now, I'll probably pick A&M. I'm going to study on it some more tomorrow. And we'll come back Tuesday and talk about it. 11 o'clock game. Oklahoma's at Ole Miss. Not very interesting. 2:30 game, but here's one it is. Illinois is at Oregon. Now, it's crazy loud at Oregon. Crazy. Crazy, crazy loud. And we talked about Auburn. Auburn's going up to Kentucky. I'm just going to start Brown. Man, just go back and watch the Auburn game. Look at the sidelines and see how Coach Freeze is talking to Thorne. he's just so, you can see he's like rubbing he's mentally depleted with him. Like, golly, he's thinking his head, his boy's dumb. And you don't mean dumb, like he can't get this RPO offense, to this juiced up high school football offense that I like to run here. He can't get it. Alabama needs him, really. I mean, probably makes, he throws too many picks though. But it's that style of offense that Freeze wants to run. It's not his friendly style of offense. Like, see, at Michigan State, he had a lot of yards. He played good up there. That style was okay. If Milroe's at Auburn, they ain't lost a game right now. I don't care what you say. Auburn's undefeated right now if Milroe's their quarterback. He would fit right in. He can throw. He's got a good touch on the ball, throw a deep ball. But you can throw some little small stuff over the middle, which Alabama won't. Why not throw these slants? It's like it works 3 or 4 times, and they just scratch it. So I'm going to start Hank Brown at Kentucky. Y'all can say what you want to. SMU's at Duke. That's going to be on ACC Network at 7. Nebraska at Ohio State. That's why I think. But, man, you can't do that, Coach Rule in Nebraska. They just get freaking, curb stomped. They beat the brakes off Nebraska. They were thinking about this game. It's going to be the Fox Big Noon game. And then Michigan State's at Michigan this weekend at 6:30. And if you want to know Mountain West game, I know. Probably ain't going to watch it. It's late. I may catch it. I just pass out and wake back up. I'll catch the second half of this. Boise State's at UNLV. They're both 5-1. This is probably that's a big Mountain West game. Big. Coach Short, what's up, you rascal? Coach Short says people are getting more tape on Alabama. Yep. And playing Williams' man will help over the top, and he's not confident in the other ones. Yeah, I know. An old cat is griping on Dupree and them's griping on Twitter about it. Dude, don't do that. I'm watching the game, and I went back and watched it again, highlight stuff, and I see the big eye view on some of these plays. He's not open. You got to get open for him to throw it to you, 1. And 2, the offensive line, Booker and Pritchett, that right side is bad. But it's been bad. I'm not just picking on him. Bro, he's a nice kid, it seems like. Watch him do interviews. Nice guy. They got it's not really problems. It's just how it is. Bama's got new coaches, kids learning new plays from new coaches, and Milroe just can't get it. They're trying to make him a stencil copy of Penix. Well, let's see. We're going to put the different surroundings, but Penix going to make Milroe like him. You can't stop doing that to him. That's not, like I told you a while ago, Tommy Reese tried to do whatever he was trying to do, Notre Dame crap, and he just – all right. John, let's go ahead and talk. We got to watch some film, buddy. We got to figure out what's going to make how we can just win football with you. And you watch him practice, and you go through plays with him, and you go, okay, now we got a plan. It took Reese a couple of weeks after the Texas game or so. They figured it out. No, it wouldn't do no good to bench him because Milroe's legs are super valuable. He can run and get out of trouble. That's the difference. So what do you do? Those are some games for next weekend. Not a huge slate, and I went through the games for around here. We'll have 2 teams be off next week. Who did I say it was going to be? I think Cedar Bluff and Cedar Bluffs and say Center plays at home. Yale's at home. Sand Rock's at home. So Cedar Bluff and Spring Garden are off. So I'll probably go out to Sand Rock this week. But anyway, we'll talk about these next weekend games Tuesday night. Come back over and hang out with me probably about 5 o'clock. And Auburn and Bama both have quarterback trouble. you're trying to get information to two young men that are not comfortable with what they're learning. It's just not, it's got to be hard. And these people that are going on media and like, blasting Milroe and just being jerks to him, bro. He is a man. He's grown, and he's got to be able to take criticism. You getting a paycheck? This is the way it is. This is how it is. You're gonna get paid to do something. You're not just a student athlete anymore. Media's gonna talk about you. So they're gonna blast you. He did play a bad game, and he admitted, "Hey, I got to do better." But Deboer's got to get with his old coach. He's got to get with Nick and Sheridan and say, I know we're adding some plays to his book every week, but he just never looks settled. He's sitting on the sidelines like this. Like he's just, man, it's too much. I don't know what to do. He looked lost. He looked scared. He looked detached from the team. Bro, I've seen McCarron and McElroy, Coker, Sims, Bryce, two of some. They'd go down the line, down there and get their offensive linemen, get in their face and, clap. Hey, guys, come on, man. Let's keep fighting here. Let's stay in this game. It's tough. It's supposed to be a hard game. Tennessee's got the number 5 defense for a reason. They're good. This is supposed to be a good game. This is why you come to Alabama. It's to be in these games. It's to play these opponents because you're going to get everybody's best shot. If you want to be the best, you need to practice like the best. And that's what makes you the best, to go on that next level and be one of the best linemen in the NFL. But Milroe's just – he's just, one time he's just doing this, holding his pads. Or he's got the iPad over there, he's looking at the plays and or he messed up. And there's no reason for hardly anybody anymore to not adjust. I don't want to hear that. They got all these iPads floating around everywhere. And he's even got, somebody in his ear talking to him. And that may be messing him up. That's new too. Think about it. That's new. Maybe that's messing up some of these quarterbacks. Maybe some of them, it don't bother. They just kind of go along with it. Hey, spread zebra 22Y. Okay, that's the play. And they call it in the huddle. And some of these guys, like, I'd hate to have to wear the helmet of thorn for Hugh Freeze dragging that garbage in my ear. And it seems like he just is, he's mentally, he's abused. He's abused Thorne. He's verbally just, you can tell he just don't. He probably loves him. I mean, most head coaches, they don't hate kids. There's no way you could do it that long and hate a kid. He don't hate him. He's very frustrated with where they're at in the season. And he just seems shocked that Peyton can't get it. Like, dude, this is not hard. What do you not get? And he just can't. And that's aggravating to a coach. And I guess Coach Deboer, you can see these past 2 weeks, even last week after the win, you can tell he's not all smiles and giggles, and he smiled a little bit. And, well, good game, thanks to the fans. Couldn't do it without you guys. And you go on the road to Tennessee and give away probably 17 points. At least they give away 10 for sure. No doubt 10. All these turnovers, they didn't score on the turnovers. You can't do that, man. You can't do that at all. Maybe Milroe is gun shy, Jeff. I don't know. Yeah, go Big Oranges. The garbage man won it, and they were better Saturday. And that's what you got to do. You can't just keep talking about Bama and they played bad and, well, it didn't go their way and they had a lot of turnovers. They created turnovers. They didn't score on them. Well, they probably didn't score on them because Tennessee's got a good defense. They got a good push on the line, man. Now, the stuff with Booker's just he's bad against South Florida. He's bad against Tennessee. Coach Heupel had a game plan. And like I said earlier, hey, he comes out first half. He feels his defense, which got no respect from very few. We went through Tennessee this summer. We talked about their D-backs. We knew they were going to be pretty good. I know it was going to be like 5, but I could see them being top 10 defense. They got some older guys back there, man. And that makes a difference. And if he thinks his defense can keep them on close, then Nico can come in and hit some of those shots. And they're going to keep shooting them, man, until somebody hits one. And they did. He threw 5 or 6 times. He missed those. If those connect, it wouldn't have mattered what happened. Tennessee was going to win anyway because he missed about 5 of them, overthrew them. And he hit 1 or 2 or 3 of them. Well, you shoot 12 shots and you hit 3, that's a terrible percentage. But if the other team's not really even shooting their shot, Bama didn't take no big shots downfield, really. Not like that Georgia game, man. They were throwing up and down the sideline like crazy. Because why? Well, they couldn't. Because Tennessee's better back there than Georgia. Georgia's pretty close to Bama and those D-backs. They got some young. They're good. They got some good guys back there. They're young. At one time, for many times in the game, Bama had 5 freshmen back there. Not all night, but for different packages and plays. The guy's going off. He's hurt. This guy's got his hamstring. Red Morgan, when he's rolling his hamstring out over there, so the guy's turned his ankle. Other guys jammed his finger or something. Sab went out. He stayed out for I don't know how long. And you got Macumba. Macumba come in and made a pick. He's a freshman. Boy's 18 years old. He played in here at Clay, Chauvel, right down here 2 hours from here. Great player. Good player. Well, I don't the new AP, we got Bama at what do they have? 15? Bama's at 15. Is that a little low? Well, that's somewhere right in there. They've lost 2 games. I mean, where you want to keep them in the top 10? Now, this crap with they keep Notre Dame up there, man. You lost to Northern Illinois. Michigan finally got out. Finally, they keep rolling them in there in the top 25. Jeez, man, crap. And they're not going, why are we not about Miami? They still had them under Texas. I went through strength of schedule last week. I wrote it down here somewhere. I wrote down strength of schedule. I mean, nobody's got strength of schedule like I didn't write it down. Tennessee's strength of schedule is 48. Bama's was 7. See, Tennessee's schedule's not quite as hard. Auburn had 25. Their strength of schedule is 25th. Mizzou's 51. Georgia's got this number 6 strength of schedule. Texas got 22. Georgia's got it's tougher this year, man. It is. They got a tougher year. There's some notes from last week. So come back Tuesday. We'll do a Tuesday's Gone with the Wind episode. I would just do Gone with the Wind. That's where I'm at. Thank you guys. Love y'all. And God bless you. Have a good week. See you Tuesday.